The level of violence was quite extraordinary. I mean, what this film is really about is the fragility of democracy, because once you allow the institutions that are meant to protect the people to be taken away, the Electoral Commission, the judiciary, the armed forces, once they are controlled by one single human being, you need someone pretty heroic to come along and make a change, someone like you.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored. Did you hear that? Someone like me? Thank you. That's kind of you, Christopher. Moses, I have been pursued, hounded, and all that back home. You know, we've survived assassinations. You yourself were always besides me with the camera. You've been persecuted, you've been thrown to jail, shot in the face and all that. Please talk about the danger that you faced while you were covering this film.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. It's an honor that we're here sharing this story, and indeed the power of God that we are here today, alive and present, to share the story with the world. You know, as you see in the film, it was very violent to follow Bobbi, and indeed, you know, many around him and friends of mine, journalists, you know, were attacked. I was locked up in prison. I was interrogated. I was shot in the face at close range. You know, so we really risked our lives to bring this film to the world. And as we speak today, I don't live in Uganda anymore. There had been 2 attempted kidnaps on my wife. So we had to flee the country. So we are here in America seeking political asylum, my wife and I. So yeah, the stakes have been high, but you know, this film is a much needed, it's a much needed tool that we needed to carry on making to share with the world. Yeah.
Thanks, Moses. Yeah, we are rebels, right? We would operate like guerrillas,
Right.
Like we were used to joke that we are guerrillas, only that they are shooting us with bullets and tear gas, and we're shooting them with a camera.
And with ideas and, you know. And,
yeah, Moses, much as we joke about us being guerrillas, that was in many ways the reality, that it became difficult for you to move around with footage. How hard was it to get the footage out of Uganda?
Yeah, so, you know, the conventional ways of working, I just, you know, you just can't work the normal way within the system and how things were. You know, there was a lot of surveillance around Bobbi, you know, he was followed everywhere. And, you know, that extended to myself as well. In fact, you know, at some point I had to use a foreign mobile phone that then I would communicate, because then it was a bit protected. It was hard to hack into. Anyway, so how did I protect the footage? A lot of times I handed cards to Caucasian journalists who were friends, if they were around, and sometimes, you know, to the guys you see on the motorcycles, the borders. So I would hand cards to them, and they would then deliver them at a place, you know. And also, you know, to send footage out of the country, I couldn't keep, you know, footage for longer than a week or so. So we had to find friends who are traveling or would send drives through, you know. Yeah, we would find ways to send drives out of the country. And yeah.
Did you not lose any footage?
So I had filmed, we agreed with Christopher in the very beginning, we had a plan. If I would get arrested, so that I'm not found with the actual footage. So we had filmed Bobbi at home, playing with the kids, with his dogs, you know, just like normal home stuff. And that's the only stuff they would take. But yeah, the real stuff was hidden. Yeah.
Moses, what did you find most surprising, if anything was surprising? What did you find most surprising in the process of making this film?
I think for me it was the level to which the state would sink. You know, the violence was incredible. You know, it did not just they didn't just met this violence upon the political the people Bobby's supporters or Bobbi Wine or people around him. They extended this to media people, journalists, and, you know, as we speak today, media houses, most of them, you know, are unlicensed. They've lost their licenses for playing Bobby's music, things like that. And, you know, they work in a very, you know, in an environment where they're very careful. So there's a lot of self-censorship. Yeah.
Chris, what impact did you hope that this film would have?
Yeah, I mean, when you start making a film like this, you know, you never know quite what's going to happen. And you know, my big thing when I first started was this feeling that I would let you down and you would give us all of this access and we would make a story which wasn't exposed to the world, and your story wouldn't get out. So that was my biggest worry, is that we wouldn't do you justice. But that's not the case. Here we are, and we've had the most incredibly fortunate. You know, just going back to what you asked Moses, yes, about what surprised me. What surprised me was the bravery of you and the people around you. I just found it. I just couldn't believe that you and Barbie and Nubian and all those people around you who could have a very comfortable life and are in a position to, you know, make money from music would throw that all in and risk it for your country. I mean, it's just extraordinary. And so I found that I found it amazing, because I always thought, well, at some point surely they're going to throw in the towel and sort of give up, but you never do. And you know what you have to realize about this story is it's not, you know, we filmed a segment of your life which was 5-6 years, but it's ongoing today. You know, people are being abducted still. You know, Bobby was just back in Uganda recently with Barbie, and they were under house arrest. And if you want to know the power of film, they were under house arrest, and the day the nomination got announced, within an hour, all the police and all the army had disappeared because of the spotlight. You know, they didn't want the story coming out, sort of nominated Bobbi Wine under house arrest. So it really works. It works. This is what documentaries are all about. It's about shedding light on important causes, and this is a film which really, really can resonate. I mean, the other thing we really hoped that would come out of it, we very much hoped that the international community would understand that the Museveni regime, which has now been there for 38 years, is not a democracy, it's a dictatorship, and they abuse their people, they lock people up, they torture people. And we in the West, it's not just America, it's Europe, and I'm English, it's England. We have this very close relationship with Museveni, and we know it's a dictatorship, we know what he's up to, but we let it go. And it needs someone like Bobby and Barbie and their story, and someone that, you know, fortunately we had the opportunity to make this film. And that's what filmmaking is all about, yeah. But Bobby, let me ask you, what do you hope the film will deliver?
Chris, I thought I'm the guy to ask questions. Thanks, Chris. Already we are very grateful for what the film has delivered. Honestly, I did not have it in my wildest dreams that our story would get this level of international attention. And we are humbled that we are here. You know, for us, it was only hope of smuggling our story out of Uganda, since every information that comes out of Uganda is very tightly controlled. And now that we are here, I hope that this story will go far and wide. I hope that the people that are here will help tell their friends, and their friends will tell their friends about our story. We know that for such evils historically, from slavery to colonialism to dictatorships to, you know, all kind of evils in society, once they are exposed, they are weakened, and ultimately they are discredited. So by shining a light on this, first we are comforted that the world can no longer pretend not to know the situation back in Uganda. And we know that soon the world will change its attitude towards the funds that are coming to Uganda. And we hope that conditions like respect for human rights, like respect for democracy, like respect for the rule of law, we hope those conditions will be put on the aid that comes to Uganda. And quite a lot of aid comes to Uganda. From America alone, up to $1 billion goes to General Museveni every year. We appreciate that, but we hope that money is used for the good of the people of Uganda, not to subjugate them and to maintain General Museveni in power at the cost of human rights and democracy and the rule of law. I hope it will send our message far and wide. But like I said, I'm the guy to ask questions. So, Moses, now that we have this opportunity, we are here. There's so many messages and so many communications that our film gives. But if you are to leave a message, especially to the young audiences globally, what would that message be?
That message is, of course, hope and resilience, that, you know, regardless of what's coming at you, you can stand up and fight it. But also, this film is a cautionary tale. We hope that young audiences around the world will understand the fragility of democracy. Sometimes because these systems are, you know, you find them in place, they actually take so long to build, we all know that, but you know, they're also very fragile. You know, in Uganda now, it's an uphill battle to bring democracy, right? We've never had a democracy in our country. The dictatorship has been in power for 38 years. You know, before that, there was coups, and we all remember Idi Amin, right? Now we have someone who's worse than Idi Amin because he's been in power for 38 years. Idi Amin was in power for 7 years. So since Ronald Reagan, Uganda has had the same president. So we hope that young audiences, most especially the young people in America, can protect their democracy and many other countries around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Moses, for talking about democracy, especially here and at such a time.
Right. Right.
Don't take it for granted, guys. Democracy is always one step away from extinction, so guard it jealously. What you have is what we dream of having a small fraction of. Thank you. Thank you very much, Moses. Thank you very much, Christopher, for helping our story come to this global stage. Thank you very much for...
No, before you go.
Yes, please.
Can you please sing us a song?
Yeah.
Okay, before I sing a song, I will also request that if you are touched by this film, please share it with your friends and family, and maybe they can also continue sharing it. For us, it is a lifeline. For us, the more people that know about our story, the longer we live, and it's a reality. It's more like an extension of our lease of life. It was because of the international outcry that made noise that I was spared in 2018, like you saw in the film, and here I am. So now that I was saved by your voices, I want to lead the campaign to save 45 million people that are in Uganda, and we can do it. We definitely can do it. So remember, your pain is not in vain. That is how we get the experience. And what doesn't kill you makes you strong. Never give in to the dictatorship. One day we shall look back and smile, and we shall have a story to tell. Endurance and perseverance, the harder the squeeze, the sweeter the juicy. Where there's no pain, there is no gain. Victory never come easy. Remember in life there are ups and downs. Never give in to the negativity, no. One day everything is gonna be fine. And we say, everything's gonna be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.